You're listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, which provides bite-sized tips for busy parents, educators, and anyone working with kids. These real talk conversations focus on mindful living, mental health, and personal growth, helping all to learn, grow, and inspire with mindfulness in mind. I'm your host, Vanessa de Jesus Guzman, educator, licensed professional counselor, entrepreneur, and mom. I'm passionate about helping folks live life with peace of mind and ease of heart while not losing their, well, you know, here we go. Hi, and welcome to episode 134 of the Free to Be Mindful podcast. I hope that you're feeling good, looking good, and doing better in this world than you were yesterday. So February 5th to February 11th, which is the week that this podcast is being released, is actually International Play Therapy Week. Play therapy is huge for those therapists who work with children inside of schools and outside of schools. One can use play therapy in a mental health setting, but not everyone who uses play therapy is a registered play therapist, as there is a big certification process that you have to undergo in order to call yourself a play therapist. But I love it because I myself use play therapy in my setting, and play is to children as words are to adults. That's really the first way that we begin to express our thoughts and opinions and our creativity. And where we get stuck on as adults is that we think that it's only for kids, or we think that play stops at a certain age. And really, it doesn't, nor does it have to. Just a couple of weeks ago, my little brother turned 30, and he had his birthday celebration at a bar that was actually a big arcade, and they just sold drinks and food. And as soon as I walked in, I didn't really know where I was going, but as soon as I walked in, I was like, yep, this is totally him. And usually when we're thinking of how to play or what is it that we play, sometimes we think of the most obvious things, playing Wordle or Candy Crush or video games. But there are different forms of play that we do still engage in as adults, and we don't even realize that it's play, or perhaps that we don't engage in, but maybe we should. Play is critical as adults in our stressful lives because we're always on the go, 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 and we barely ever stop to just enjoy ourselves for no other purpose than just to have fun. And as adults, it really seems that we get caught up into being a grown-up, whether we want to or not, that we sometimes forget to integrate these fun things that really do have tons of benefits. So think about it. Again, some of the things are obvious, like Wordle or Candy Crush, but sports. How many of us don't engage in a sports, whether it be on a baseball recreation league or just playing basketball for fun? But sometimes, whether we go on a jog, that's technically engaging in some kind of play. You are still moving your body, even though it's independently. Or getting together with friends and going bowling is also a form of play. Our hobbies are typically a form of play as well, whether it is painting, photography, gardening. For me, it's jumping on the Peloton or going salsa dancing. It's just a creative outlet where you get to relax and have fun and de-stress. There's obvious games like board games, video games, as I was mentioning, and other types of fun that, we really use to stimulate our minds. There are adventure activities, including traveling to new destinations. That is a form of play because you're getting to experience something new. And doing things like hiking or rock climbing, even skydiving for those folks who are very adventurous, that is a form of play as well. And then there's volunteer work. So doing something for a cause that you care about can be really fun and rewarding. And attending things like parties and festivals or concerts, those are other ways that we really engage in fun. So when we think of play, you can widen your scope of the definition of play to just include anything that brings you fun. And we can categorize all these different types of fun based upon our personalities and what fits best for us. So there's that physical play, like engaging in sports or outdoor adventure. There's creative play where you get to express your creativity, whether it be by painting, drawing, or playing an instrument. There's social play, such as playing games, attending parties, and volunteering. There's mental play, which is when you engage in activities like puzzles or strategy games or learning a new skill. By the way, I recently bought a game for my son. I thought it was for my son, but I really think it's more for me called Bananagrams. It's like playing Scrabble, but by yourself, and then you see who can kind of put more words together in the fastest amount of time. And it has been awesome to engage in that mental play every evening with my spouse and son. There's adventure play where you do the more adventurous things like we were just sharing. There's playful work, like integrating play into the work, like finding joy in daily tasks, incorporating humor into the workplace, and finding creative solutions to problems. So we don't all have to just think about fun and games. We can actually have fun while we're working. And there's nature play where you just integrate yourself within nature, like gardening or bird watching or exploring parks and forests. So there's just a couple of different types of play that adults can get into. And the key is to find activities that are going to not only bring you joy, but provide a sense of playfulness in your life. And some of the benefits that these different forms of play can really bring to you is first and foremost stress relief. And who doesn't need more of that? It can reduce tension by providing distractions from your everyday responsibilities, and it just allows you to relax and have fun. Play is also proven to boost creativity. It can help adults really tap into their creative side and stimulate their imagination, leading to increased problem solving skills and innovation, which is really good depending in your area of work. Social connection is so very important, and we've all experienced that, especially in the last 3 years. It can provide opportunity for adults to just interact with other people and build social connections and build a sense of community and belonging, which is really important to us in our hierarchy of needs. There's physical benefits like just staying physically active and improving your overall health and decreasing issues that lead to health problems such as heart disease and diabetes and depression. And of course, there's mental well being. Play can have a real positive impact on your mental wellness by promoting happiness, reducing symptoms of anxiety and depression, and overall increasing self esteem. So, just engaging in some of these aspects of play can bring such a big difference to your physical life, to your social life, and then to the mental side of things as well. And talking about play reminds me of big companies like Google and Facebook, things I only hear about since it's out of the realm of where I work, but where people can have flexible seating and they can dress the way they choose and just have different outlets throughout the day to boost creativity. And it's interesting how, as adults, some companies are leaning more this way. But then when we think about our kids, sure, some schools are really big into flexible seating and allowing kids to work on wherever their passion lies. But there are still the majority of schools that are pretty old school in their thinking, where the kids are still sitting in rows and you can't get out from your seat without raising your hands. But we really want to think about raising humans that are creative, that do think outside the box, and not just raising robots in the shapes of humans that just follow direction. Imagine how much more creative and what wonderful things people can think of when they do think outside the box. But that's for kids. Being that we as adults already are set in our ways to a certain degree, we want to think about, well, how can we integrate play into our already very busy adult lives? So here are a couple ideas. Find activities that you like. Engage in activities that are going to bring you joy, whether that's a sport, a hobby, a creative pursuit. There is always something out there that kind of gets you going. Pick that one and run with it. And schedule the playtime. So make this time a priority for yourself so that you set out a specific day, perhaps, or a specific time for activities that bring you joy, whether it is just sitting down and painting, or whether it is taking a cooking class or a dancing class. Do something and schedule it out so that you're not to miss it, just like you wouldn't miss an important meeting at work. And you can play with others, meaning to join a recreational group or do something in a group activity if that's what floats your boat, so as to keep you motivated to keep engaging in this play. And while we talked about scheduling things so that you don't miss it, don't be afraid to be spontaneous. Maybe just plan a spontaneous road trip or a game night with friends or a spontaneous dance party, whether it's with a bunch of people or it's you and your dog by yourself. Check out my social media for a video of that. So it doesn't have to be this big overdone thing. You can find joy and play in even the simplest of ways. And of course, we want to make things a habit so that we can continue to do them on more than just a one off day. Travel if you have the leisure to do so. Explore new places, experience new adventures and new foods, meet new people who think differently from you. That really should be a part of our overall human experience. And volunteer. Volunteering can be a great way to bring play into your life. And the point is, my friends, to find an activity that works for you, something that you can do, whether it be by chance or that you schedule, but something that gets you going, whether it be physically or socially or mentally or emotionally. Find something that brings back that feeling of when you were a kid, where time seemed to stop and you were just paying attention to the right here and right now, which of course is being mindful and engaging in the activities that you take the time to do. Again, whether it be by chance or whether it be something that you set the time out for. When we engage in more of that, we find more joy and more fulfillment in life, which can make a big difference in the way that we show up with others, with those that we care for, even with strangers, and most importantly, with ourselves, so that we find reason for being and reason for doing the things that we do day to day. So I hope that this has brought you some ideas as to how to integrate play in your everyday life. I know that a big concern is also how exactly is it that we play with our kids or should play with our kids? So if you want more help with that, be sure to tune into the next episode when it comes out, episode 135, where we'll be talking about how to play well with your kids. And it is my hope that you take out the time today and every day, whether it be a few minutes or an hour, to do something for you. I now invite you to join me on this guided meditation. So, right now, regardless of where you are or what you're doing, bring awareness to the space that you're in, where your feet are, where your body is, what your eyes are looking at. Feel the air around the space that you're in. See if you notice any particular textures or smells or any interesting sights in the space that you're in. And if you're able to, I invite for you to close your eyes or gaze down to not have any distractions. Or if you're driving, please do not close your eyes, but just follow my voice and think about the things that I bring up. Take this moment and take yourself back to your childhood self, to whatever age that was, to whatever season it was, where you experienced true, uninterrupted, judgment-free fun. Was it going on vacations? Maybe recess periods in school? Maybe playing in an open fire hydrant during the summer? Or going to the park? Whatever it was that brought you full and free joy as a child, take yourself there and see your childhood version of yourself. Remember their smile, their eyes full of joy. their minds free of maybe any responsibilities, and the way that they were able to be fully present in the space they were in and enjoy the moment for what it was. Try now to connect that with something that you can do in this adult version of yourself. What can you do to bring yourself joy and peace and that fun and exciting feeling that you had as a child? If maybe not to 100%, to any percentage, so that you can still experience the joys of life and the genuine smiles and fun feelings that life still has to offer, should you take the time and effort to carve it out. Have a great week. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. It would mean a ton if you took this moment to review the Free to Be Mindful podcast on the platform you catch your favorite shows. That quick and easy act lets me know what you enjoy, and it helps others find the podcast too. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you can listen along next week. In the meantime, I welcome you to catch me on social media at Counselor V de Jesus. And as always, remember, in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next week.